Everyone, welcome to RK Polonia. My name is Rainer, and I have um, I have looked for blue card information for quite a long time and never found any video that really spoke about pros and cons of it. So I decided to do it today because it's been quite some time that I've been planning to do it. So basically, it's this: what is the blue card, right? And what is the difference between this blue card, this normal work visa, and the residence card, right? The blue card is being an attempt by this European Union to make something similar to the green card in America, but because the flag is blue, so they have the blue card. Of course, who knows how the green card works and the benefits? I guess it's not very similar. It's not very similar at all, right? Because with the green card, you can move move on across all the states in America, work and so on. But with the blue card, you are kind of limited to the country you apply to, right? So we're gonna get into that. So basically, I hope that by the end of this video, you're gonna be able to know if you should or not apply for this blue card. To be honest, I look back today and personally, I would not apply. But we'll get into that, okay? So basically, what would be the benefits of the blue card, okay? So the benefits of the blue card would be, at least that's what's advertised, is that once you stay the minimum period of 1 year and 8 months, depending on the country, okay? This is a rule, but every country kind of adapted the blue card to its own rules and regulations in each country. Okay, so basically in Poland it's 2 years. That's the country I live. But in other countries like Holland, for example, is 1 year and 8 months. So once you acquire that blue card on the role and the company you are in, that means you have to stay at that company for at least 1 year and 8 months, and in Poland for 2 years. So then, let's say the real benefits come in. At least it's what advertised. So what are the benefits then? So basically, you can have family members, being joining you. At least that's what they say. Also, you can move to another European country, which is part of the EU. Let's say the blue card. Let's say agreement, excluding Ireland, Denmark, and the UK. Okay. So that's the EA, I guess region, the EU, we call it the EU. So that would be the first thing. You can move on to another country, and the moment you move on to that new country, you don't lose the time that you had with this blue card in this country. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you worked in Poland for 3 years, okay, and you moved to Holland for work. So you have to inform, of course you have to apply for this blue card over there as well, and you have to inform them that you had a previous one here, right? Otherwise they might not know. So you link them both in a way, kind of link, it's not the right word, but let's call it linking. So you link, and then you don't lose those 2 years that you stayed in Poland, or the 3 years that you stayed in Poland. So basically, when you're there for the next 2 years, then another benefits come in, which is it's as if like European Union becomes one country. So the time in Poland plus the time of Holland, 3 years in Poland, 2 years in Holland, that comes to 5 years. So since you are in Holland at the moment, then you can apply for permanent residency in that country, right? Because that will be the rule for that country. 5 years of residency, you can apply. So they take into consideration the previous countries you had a blue card, okay? So that is the beauty, at least in the paper, of this blue card, okay? But the problem is that in the reality it's not so much like this, because some countries don't accept this, some countries don't. There are countries that accept, but some that don't. So what I'm saying is from my own experience. I know people that moved from here to, for example, Germany, and they couldn't transfer the time. There are people that were here and moved to a different country. They also couldn't transfer their time from. So that the blue card had to be requested in this new country, and this so-called amazing benefit, which for me would be the amazing benefit of blue card, could not be put in place because of that issue. Then you have your spouse, for example. If you're married, your spouse can work anywhere she of course she has to apply based on your blue card, and then she can work anywhere. But at least in Poland, um, I think everywhere, to be honest, not many people know anything about blue card. Not many companies use this blue card thing, and so it's very, very difficult. It's not very, there's no promotion about this. So what happened is that you basically you basically have it, but it's as if like you don't have it, because if you go and approach a company and you say, "Oh, I have a blue card, I can't work anywhere," they won't really believe you at the moment. They have to check and that, and so at the end of the day, honestly, at least in Poland, for immigrants, they're gonna work for a company that's like IT, or roles that require somebody from outside. They can issue the visa work permit for you anyway, so it's not gonna really make any difference, right? Okay, if your spouse doesn't have IT skills, want to work, I don't know, anywhere in a corner shop or something like this, yes, that's really useful, I guess, because then she can move in and so on. But still, the small shop owner don't know about rules. So the moment you're a foreigner, it's gonna be complicated as well. So I think there's a lack of marketing of this blue card and the rules, because nobody seems to know what the rules are. I even have a conversation today with a very renowned company about this, and they were not really aware of every single detail about it, because they said, "Oh, we have to check and this and that," and neither the immigration officer, the immigration service of that country, sometimes they don't know, or they don't give like a specific information. So it's unfortunately as an idea is beautiful. It's beautiful. Imagine you can work anywhere in Europe. So if the blue card was like this, you get it here, and the moment you have it, it was valid for the whole period of that the card. So let's say you got it for 2 years. That from that moment on, you could work anywhere. That would be beautiful. You could also work in different countries in the EU. That's awesome. But from my standpoint today, I see that it's very beneficial more for the company than for the employee, because you get a blue card, you can work up to 3 months in a different country, something like that. So basically, it's good for the company. They need to send you an assignment. They don't need to spend money in the new country for your work permit for you and wait. You can just go, work, and come back, right? So that's good for them. Also, getting people from your family to join you, at least relatives, like children, like your children, your wife, and so on, they can join you as well. Because I know some countries you have to apply from your country and not within the EU. You cannot come as a tourist here and then apply here, like which is the case of Brazil. I'm from Brazil, so we can come here as a tourist. We have 3 months, 90 days, and then within that time we have to apply. So my disappointment with the blue card is being like this. It's like if like today, I have a blue card for 3 years. If I go to a European country like I don't know, Netherlands, that's great, because the Netherlands accepts the time that I have in Poland. But some countries they don't, and they might say, well, you have to be enforced and all this and all that, right? But the rules and the regulation seems to be a bit tight here and tight there, so they keep changing, right? And also many people don't know that some people think that only people with university degree can apply a blue card, and that's not it's not true. If you have excuse me, if you have at least 5 years of working experience, you can apply for the blue card. And in my case, it was not even work experience related to the field I'm in, because some people might think, well, the role I'm applying is project management, so I have to have 5 years of project management. No, that's not entirely true. I've seen people applying and they had, I don't know, change manager or even different roles in IT, but as long as they have 5 or 6 years of 5 years of work experience, that was enough. So if you are in Poland, I think it's not really worth to apply for this blue card, to be honest. I honestly don't think that, because it's a bit more expensive. It says that it should issue faster, but it's not always the case, because if you go right now, like I was checking on the Polish migration website, they don't even give you an exact date. They don't even want to say it. They say that it depends on the complexity of each case and so on and so forth, right? Of course, some countries will say, like Sweden will say, it's 90 days. I think Germany as well is the same. But when the push comes to shove, then it's a different story. So I think the idea of the blue card is beautiful, and it would really be amazing. But it would be amazing if all the members had at least the main core rules would be the same. Like the idea of the blue card, at least if you call the blue card network in the Netherlands, you will see on the website as well the information there. One of the beautiful things I think would be the fact, for example, that if you go to a country where 5 years of residence entitles you to citizenship, which is something like Sweden, for example, then that is amazing because, for example, if you lived 3 years in Poland, you moved to Sweden, after 2 years you could apply for Swedish citizenship, right? That is awesome, but when it comes to the reality, it's not. Because they say, well, after 2 years here, you have to apply for this EU permanent residence card. So this EU permanent residence card is different from the permanent residence card, okay? And then with that, then you have to wait another 2 years, and then after 4 years or something, you can apply for this citizenship. So it's a pity, that it doesn't always. I have some comments here now. I've got Karina says, if they don't give much information, do you think maybe it is a way to discourage immigrants to ask for it? Well, I honestly don't know. I think it's could be to discourage people from applying to it, and then these are nice benefits. I guess some European countries have more benefits than others, but unfortunately, it's like, for example, Germany. I think you can even work self-employed. I think Sweden, you can move away from the country for a whole year, and your card is still valid, right? Because if you have a normal residence card, if you stop employment after 3 months, it should no longer be valid. So it's like your residence card becomes terminated, and you enter into this touristic visa thing, which is my case, for example. We have 90 days to stay. So that's a pity. I've got some people saying hello. I have Ettore Bittencourt. Hey, Primo, how you doing? We've got Evaldo Jr. saying, I'll apply for blue card. Nice to know these infos. I think, the core, let's say, of the blue card is pretty much the same, which is you bring your family, family reunification. You can, after 2 years, you can move from your current role and company to different company without having to ask for work permit within the country you're in. Then you have also there is like I was gonna say, that you can work part-time, but when it comes to certain countries, they give more benefits and some give less benefits. Like I heard, like I said, Germany has some benefits where you can work part-time up to 60 or 60 hours a week or something like that. So you can be self-employed, right? You have your job, but you can do something on the side as well, which is not always the case everywhere. So, I'm giving you my opinion based on what I've researched and based on what I know. So, if you think, wow, this is wrong or something, let me know in the comments below, because this actually shows how misinformed we are about the blue card, okay? So, if something is wrong, let me know. I would like to understand that as well. And I think it's good to bring this conversation because I think many of us, we have an idea or expectation of the blue card, but that doesn't truly happen in reality, okay? So, for example, I had a valid permanent residence card and applied for the blue card, and they gave me only 1 year, right? Because they say it's because of my work work contract, okay? So this is something that happened to me in Poland. I had a 3-year residence card valid, we call it Karta Pobytu here, which translated means residence card, and from a different company. And then I moved to another state in the country, within the same country, and then the human resources, right, told me, the guy from the human resource told me, no, this is not valid here. You have to request a new residence card because you changed the role. And in reality, I could have just updated, right, in my previous location, my new address, and also informed this new place that I'm living here with this local government we call Rząd Wojewódzki. Then I listened to this and I didn't believe it, and I believed it, and I made this mistake of requesting a new one. And then I thought, okay, I have all the requirements for the blue card, let me apply for it. I did, and I got it for 1 year, and I regret it because I had to request another one, and then they gave me for 2 years, and then at the end of it, my residence card was valid. The first one I got in the other state was valid until 2018, and then my blue card was valid also until 2010, until I finished all this bureaucratic process. So it was not worth it, and there was no point to apply my wife to apply under my blue card because it takes so long to issue residence cards, blue cards here in the state I'm living in Poland, because every state is a little bit different. It takes so long, up over a year. So that case, a year and a half. So in that case, by the time she gets it, my blue card is about to expire. And then she will have like 6 months only of the card. So that's what happens here, to be honest, on the ground, the reality of life. So if you are in Poland today, and you and your wife are both skilled migrants and so on, I would not even waste time to apply for a blue card, to be honest, because your wife can work anywhere, you can work anywhere. You don't need to apply under your blue cards for your wife or your husband to work anywhere, honestly. So if it really worked as is advertised, yes, I would encourage you to do it. But my personal opinion, I think it's pointless, right? And in some countries, the blue card issuance time is faster, but in some countries slower, right? So for example, I know there's some like Sweden and Holland. Holland is much faster, right? Holland, I think, is the best place for the blue card. So if you have a blue card in Poland and you want to move to another country, try to move to Holland. That's the country I know that really follows the blue card rules to the letter. But if you, for example, move into another country, then it's like the work permit. It's the normal residence card comes in 10 days. Like maybe the work permit comes in 10 days, and then the next 10 days is the residence card. But so you in a month you have everything. But if you apply for a blue card, it takes 3 months. So what's the point? And then some countries, the work permit is joined with the residence card, right? It's one thing, but in Poland is not. It's two things different. Okay, so if you have a valid work permit and you have a valid residence card, then you can work, right? But here, if one thing is missing, then you cannot. So let's say your work permit is expired, but you still have a valid residence card, then you cannot work, and therefore you shouldn't, have no longer valid reason to stay. But the benefit of having a normal residence card in Poland is that the employer is responsible for the renewal of the work permit, okay? They are responsible for that. So they have to watch out for the renewal and so on and so forth. So they renew that. But of course, it's good for you to watch out as well, because it doesn't hurt for you to remind them just in case. But for the residence card, is your responsibility. So you have to watch out for the expiry date of the residence card, apply at least 3 months at least before it expires. Then when you request a blue card in Poland, it becomes 2-in-1. It's like a work permit and a residence permit in one single thing, right? So there will be no longer a letter called zezwolenie na pracę, which means permission of work, for you, from the company issuing that for you, plus another letter called zezwolenie na czas pobytu or na czas oznaczenia. Then that is a residence card, the residence permit, and then everything becomes then a card that we have, and in the back of the card. At least in the back, we'll say what type of card that is. So between the blue card and the normal residence card, the only difference is that at the back, it would say, on the blue card, it says Karta Niebieska, which is blue card. But in the other cards, if you have, some people get like this blue card, if they're married to Polish people, for example, here, they get this Dostępu do rynku pracy in the place of the blue card. So you can work anywhere. Like means, it means Dostępu do rynku pracy means like available to work anywhere. So basically, it's like It's just the card is the same, everything, the color is just the back that changed a little bit, and the fee is 100 zloty more here in Poland, so it's 440 zlotys. In some other countries, the blue card fee, it's crazy expensive that not even the employers wants to do that, and the regulations are crazy. Like the insurance, the health insurance you have to have at least for the first 3 months. It's expensive as well, so the employers don't want to do that. So they sometimes negotiate so the employee can pay and so on. So you have to also get to know all of these things before, right? So I honestly think it's not worth the hassle as well, right? Because the moment that, especially in Poland, the moment that you do the blue card, everything is on you. It's our responsibility. So the employer kind of like, wash their hands in a way and say, okay, you have to watch out for the expiry dates. You have to watch out for everything. We don't have to issue the work permit for you anymore. It's now you. So what you have to get from them is actually Appendix 1, they call it. So it's like a market research and so on. There have been some updates as well for some roles that you don't need to request a new work permits to do once you have that, let's say, role, because some roles have kind of been pre-approved for no need to market research. The government says, okay, these roles we know we don't have people in the market for them, so you guys have the green card to invite people to work, and then you don't have to do market research for that, because for every role we kind of have to have a market research. So my personal opinion is, like I said, I honestly think that I don't see any point to have a blue card, especially in Poland, right? And all these amazing benefits that don't come to reality. So it's just less hassle just to get a normal resident card, which we call here Karta Pobytu. And then, you can still have your family as well, your wife and your kids with you as dependent on you. So I don't really see the difference on that front there. So it's kind of disappointing, to be honest, but that's been my experience with the blue card. Um, I had a lot of things to say, but I might have forgotten something. So if you guys have any question, let comment here below, and I'll try to answer as well. And if I said something that you think it's not correct, then please correct me as well. But also, I always say, guys, don't always listen to the HR. Don't always listen to what people are saying to you. Go. It's like I said. Like if you're sick, you go to a doctor. If you have a legal question, go to a lawyer. Right? Here in Poland, for example, most of the lawyers, you can have a first appointment for free, where you can explain your case and they can give you the option, then decide whether you go ahead or not with your case. So there's no need to not go to a lawyer. So go to a lawyer, and even if you have to pay most of the fees, he's like 120 slot for an hour to consult with a lawyer. So don't do the same mistakes I did, which I told you. I requested a new residence card. In that time, I did the new blue card because I didn't know, I didn't have that information. So there was no need for me to do that. I could have simply continued to live in the country with the card. And looking back, it looks so stupid. Why didn't I even get any red flags when the guy told me that? But sometimes you believe too much in other people. This guy was an ex immigration officer, and he became an HR partner and worked in HR. So I believe the guy was right? And why shouldn't I believe him? He's the person that is there to support us, specific on that department for immigrants, for foreigners. So it was a big disappointment, which followed by many other wrong information that were given to me and my family, and made us, have sleepless nights many times, many tears dropped for not being able to travel out, waiting for this. This action desynchronized the residence card I had with my wife. So she had the continued one of 3 years, which was based on me at the time. And I had now a total different time of expiry date, and it became a mess. So if you're living in a country where you need to change your work permits and the expiry date will be different from your wife, don't do it. Don't do it. Just make sure that you always have it, because it might not seem important now, but the moment that somebody in your family, gets ill, something you need to travel out, that can be a big pain. That can be a big pain. So watch out for such things. Make sure that you get consultation, legal advice. Don't even listen to me here, right? This is just like a normal civil opinion. for a normal person, you know, living in Poland. Always get expertise, advice. At the end of the day, this is your life. This is no joke. You know, you are a foreigner in another country, and you need that to work. So make sure you get the best for you and for family. Don't mess around. You know, and like we said, there's not a lot of information. I can even, you know, show you now the website from the, you know, there are some website, for example, the Polish government. Okay, so let me show you something. How long will I wait for a decision? Okay, so if we go here, they have a whole page to tell you that they there is no exactly there is no like one exact date. You can look from the beginning. Like, I might be mistaken something. If I am, just freeze the page, guys, and tell me off, because I cannot see it. It's like the time of waiting for issuing a decision in the case of residence permit results from the provision of the Administrative Procedure Code and the Foreigners Act. It depends on the individual circumstance of a case. They cannot even say, okay, it's 3 months, or it is, you know, 20, I don't know, 30 days, nothing. And if that is the case, that's why it takes so long, because there's no specific information here, right? So, like in Sweden, it's 3 months. I think in Netherlands, I think it's also 3 months. But I know people that went to the Netherlands and they request their work permits and their residence card, and the whole family got it in the same day. They apply like 9 in the morning or 10, 2 o'clock they had it in the afternoon, same day, right? So Sweden, for example, takes 10 days for work permits for the whole family, and there is just one thing: you don't have work permit, residence permit. What they do is, like, you have a work permit, yes, okay, that's your type of permit in this country. It's not just a residence, but it's a work permit, which entitles you to live, of course, right? Why would you have another permit for residence if you have already a permit for work? How can you work in the country without not living in that country? That doesn't make any sense. So the moment you have a work permit, just give us a bloody card, and that's it, right? And the other thing that happens here in Poland that I don't understand is this: they charge you 340 zloty, okay, for the fee for this residence card. And then you feel like an enormous application form, everything in Polish. There's nothing digitalized. You can't upload into the website unless some other states have it. At least from what I know in Poland, right now in the state of Lower Silesia and Dolny Śląsk, I don't know about that. At least for me, I never seen it. If there is something, guys, let me know. And then you have to physically go there and apply, right? When some other countries, you can just upload all the documents into a website, click submit, and it's done, right? You just go there for them to pick your fingerprints, and the photos, and that's it. So then when they give you the residence, let's say, permission, the decision that comes via letter, then you have to pay a fee of 50 zloty to get this bloody card. Why this 50 is not included already in the 340? Why can't I just pay the bloody 390 at once? And then when you contact me, just take my fingerprints on the day I go there to submit this documentation. And then once it's done, just send me the card with the letter. That's it. Why do I have to go there again, wait from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon to get a card? It's unbelievable. It's like a joke. My son's been waiting for 2 years, right? 2 years to get his residence card. He still doesn't have it. We took the local government to court. We won in court, and still the court gave them 14 days, and today is 14 days. 14 days from the moment the court gave them the order. So they are not even listening to the court order, right? So what can I do? If they don't even listen to the orders, they're going to even do something for me. No, why? So that's a little bit of a rant there. But yeah, that's why I think there's no point to even bother with the blue card. There's most of the countries you have no extra benefits, to be honest, no extra benefits for that. So just more fees, to be honest, and more requirements, and it takes longer. And yeah, so my personal opinion, just don't bother about it. Just don't. It's just pointless to really bother about this situation. So guys, that was it. Sorry for the long video. Thanks for those that are here with me. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here for you. Let me see if there's any comments. Okay. So I have here. Oh, Gabriel Kempke saying that he doesn't understand English. He sends a hug. Hugs. Braço, Gabriel. uh, João Marx is saying, Rain, I think that you changed this page recently. Before stated 1 month, max 2 months for complicated cases. Yeah, they might have changed because they might have realized that they can't do it within the time they say. So that could give them, that could give the people, right, taking them to court, a good reason because they can take a print screen of it and say, listen, they are saying 1 to 2 months and they are not doing it within 1 or 2 months. So that's the, I guess, the problem I find. So this is John's comment, right? So thanks everyone for your comments. I already replied earlier. And if you guys have anything else to add while I'm live, feel free to ask now. If not, I will terminate the video. But if you wanna be, part of the channel, subscribe, get a notification bell on so you don't miss anything then I come live again. But also you can enroll on this Patreon part. So it's patreon.com/rkpolonia. So then you can also help us out, and then we can produce more videos like this for you, and research and do more stuff. So yeah, basically this is it for the blue card. If anybody has any comments, feel free to add here in the comments below. If you agree with me, let me know. Let me know also your experience, right? So the best, comments, the most useful comments, I will pin them. Let me know if you have any experience with the blue card, either in Poland or somewhere in Europe. I did this video in English, even though my channel mainly I was speaking Portuguese, but I did it in English because I think it's a topic that is useful for everyone. And most of the information that I see is very country specific, so I try to be more general today. And also there are not many videos out there. Most of the videos that I found sometimes is written in English, but the language is Hindi or something else, so you don't get the information. So that's why I did this. All right, I hope you guys like the video, and if you like, just give a thumbs up and subscribe, and also share the video with other people that you know from the community in the country living in, because maybe they can apply, maybe they want to apply, maybe it'll be useful for them. It depends on every person, right? It depends on what their priorities are, right? So like I said, if you're not flying out often, if your spouse doesn't have a lot of IT skills, but they could work in a, somewhere that doesn't require a highly skilled migrant, the blue card might be the option for you, because the moment that they apply based on you, they can work pretty much anywhere, but you were stuck for 2 years on that company that you applied for. So just be careful in which company you're gonna apply for the blue card, because you might have to stay there for 2 years. So if your manager is not a nice guy, I'd suggest you to find a good company first and then apply for the blue card, so you can tolerate at least for 2 years or 1 year and 8 months. Okay, cool. So that's me for now. Do widzenia. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day. All the best and happy 2020.